Benjamin Miloukowski, also known as Benjamin Netanyahu, descendant of Ashkenazi European people from Poland, whose father was a refugee in Palestine in 1920. Started World War III. Now, here's the deal. It's not an exaggeration. This is exactly what they just did. They started World War III. Now, this administration, Trump regime, is completely out of control. People think it's a video game. It's not. Real people are getting murdered, blasted into oblivion. So far, it's like 80 little girls out of school in Iran got assassinated, blasted by a United States munition. And people are, on the right are all applauding this atrocity. And this is right out of the Netanyahu playbook of genocide and mass murdering children. And this is what people are on the right, the Republican Party in the United States, and are applauding like seals. Are you kidding? The tears of the mothers are the same tears no matter where you're from. The suffering that those people are going through right now. There are no winners in war. So people say, why did Trump do this? First of all, Trump is feeling the heat from the Epstein file investigation, and he's doing anything he can to distract the world. He just started a war to distract the world from him being a co-conspirator in the largest and worst case of child sex trafficking in the United States modern history. And I say modern because the largest case of child rape and trafficking happened during the inception of the United States at the hands of the so-called founding fathers, they trafficked humans, all of them, children, rape, the whole 9 yards, with the Catholic Church's blessing and the Christian, population blessing, complete with genocide of children, Native American children, and their torture, rape, and mass kidnapping, and the rest of the horrendous atrocities that the founding fathers committed against my Native American ancestors, and not just the founding fathers of the United States, my European Christian ancestors. They did atrocities against my Native American ancestors. They hunted. My European Christian ancestors hunted my Native American ancestors with war dogs. They built statues and wrote poems to those dogs. One of them was called Becerrillo. Go look it up. So this is not new. But my question is, when is it going to stop? And it's going to stop. People say, what's the solution? The solution is us. The solution is humans stopping and saying, that's enough. We're not going to join your armies. We're not going to, or if we do, we're going to refuse to take those orders to attack, start illegal wars. And the day we start doing that is the day when humanity changes and has a chance. The racket is orchestrated by by Zionists in so-called Israel. Israel doesn't exist. It's a made-up construct of Europeans who carved out, really stole Palestine and gave it to a bunch of Europeans who had concocted a mythological belief system that said that they were going to start a peasant farmer state called Israel on land that did not belong to them. And then, 1947, the Balfour made a declaration and said, okay, this is Israel, this is yours now. And they committed the atrocities that haven't stopped against the Palestinians, and which culminated now in ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Palestinian people. Is not isolated. So the racket was Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Mossad. Now it's out. The truth is out. It's not conspiracy theory. It's not a made-believe story. Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Mossad. The way they used him, he's a piece of shit. He was a piece of shit. And his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, another piece of shit. What they did is they trafficked little girls, underage kids, to powerful men. They transported them all over the world in the Jeffrey Epstein Express. And those men paid Jeffrey Epstein with power and money and allowances to, he had information on them, obviously, because he's the one who provided this young girls to be raped and trafficked to this powerful man all over the place, everywhere in the world. And that same information was fed to the Mossad, and the Mossad pulled the strings in getting whatever they wanted for the Israeli government. That's what happened. And the documents are showing more and more involvement from many. Ehud Barak, former prime minister from Israel, he's all over the Epstein files. So little by little, all the facts are coming out that Jeffrey Epstein did not operate in a vacuum. He had handlers. He had people that used him and his depravity to compromise powerful men in powerful positions in corporations and in government positions all over the world, so that they could use that to blackmail this man and this powerful governments and men to do as whatever the Israeli government wanted, through also a lot of powerful men in the United States government. So this is a web of conspiracy by the Zionists that goes back decades. And the fruition of it, we're seeing it now. They control AIPAC, the Israeli-American Political Affairs Committee, or AIPAC. They get their hands on the United States government power by financing, contributing, giving political contributions, buying up politicians in the United States to do whatever Israel wants and get as much money as they can, and favors, and get the United States government to look the other way for every atrocity. And they do this to Democrats, they do it to Republicans, you name it. So they use the system to commit atrocities, and we're still financing those atrocities. The end goal has always been for the Zionists to control the world. That's their, and mind you, a lot of these people are atheists at the beginning, Ben Gurion, but they're really quick. They're very manipulative, and they manipulate religious fervor. And in their ethos, it's included that they want to bring about the destruction of society so that they can usher in the coming of their Messiah, and they can establish their religious, or their heaven on earth, if you will, kingdom. But before the Messiah can come, according to scriptures, go figure, they must first have their Armageddon, their destruction. Okay? They must first do that. So this is part of their plan of ushering in this Armageddon so their Messiah can, because their Messiah is, and I'm being ironic, their Messiah is so good, such a nice person, that he won't show up unless millions and millions of people are killed. Then they say, okay, it's time for me to come. How fucked up is that? That's the fucked up shit that we're sending our kids to die for right now. That's why I'm constantly attacking. What is it? Why do you have such animosity towards religious fervor and all this shit? Because of this shit. Because this is what religious indoctrination leads to. And a country of 350 million people with the most powerful military in the history of humanity is now leading the charge to start Armageddon on behalf of a group of religious zealots who are led by people who are really not religious. They just want world domination. You follow me? This is what's happening. This is what we're witnessing right now. World War III. And mind you, people don't give a shit about this until it affects them. Well, it's about to affect you. I already this morning, I put gasoline in my cars. I'm going to go buy water in a minute. I'm going to buy canned food because I live in an island. Okay? And world trade and supply chains in the market economy gets affected, especially when we're in a globalized system. So, I live in the mountains. I don't know if you can see it. I'm in the mountains right now. See? I'm in the mountains. So, I know where to go get water. I have water, pure water springs that I know where to go. I know which roots to dig in the mountains. There's always roots out there that I know how to eat. But for people who live in cities and they don't know how to survive and live off the land, when those supply chains get disrupted, mind you, we're not, the world, humanity, moved away from an agricultural society. Now we all live in this market economy, this monster created by predatory capitalism, and we're all living in this monster. So this monster is about to bite us all, because when it gets disrupted, very few people, and it's not like you can plant the seed and next day eat. That takes time, and it takes resources to take care of those fruits and veggies or whatever you're going to plant. And if it's a tree, it takes years. So those who produce are corporations. They have absolute control over humanity right now. And the ones that are making lots and lots and lots of money right now are the weapons manufacturers, the military industrial complex, the same ones that Eisenhower warned us about in his farewell address. Well, it's that time. It's that time. It's catastrophe time. Well, these kids, you see the kids, they're oblivious to what's happening in the world. They're children. They're playing softball here. Look, they don't know. They don't know what's coming. And that's the atrocity of it. We're a failed species, I believe. We're still, paying homage to those who destroy us. I keep saying I don't think we're going to make it. I don't think the species is going to make it under the current model. I don't think we're going to survive this iteration, this latest monster. I don't think we will. I hope we do. Not in the current form. Because all it takes is one launch, and it's already started. Iran told them, it's like, if you can hit. I don't like the Iranian regime. I don't like the Trump regime. I don't like the Russian regime. I don't like the Chinese regime. I don't like the Cuban regime. I don't like the Venezuelan regime. That doesn't mean that I can go somewhere and start bombing innocent people and start, assassinating people. There are other ways to do things. People say, oh, diplomacy doesn't work, especially when you don't give it a chance. When you just blast your way in there. And that really doesn't work. So, one launch, one nuclear launch, and it's all over. It's all over. Remember, one launches and the other one's point. Out of fear. As soon as someone launches, there's even a tactical nuclear device, meaning a little one. They call them the frogs. Call them they're portable. A couple of guys can carry that type of stuff. The United States has them, Russia has them. A lot of the nuclear nations have them. They say, well, if we just launch a little one, they'll just warn them. There's no warning. When there's a nuclear explosion, it gets detected, and retaliation is to follow. Oh, you need one launch and one hit. And it doesn't even have to hit, even if they intercept it in the sky, which is very hard to do, because if you think that hypersonic missiles, the little ones that can just go from one nation to the other one next door, you think those are fast? Think again. ICBMs are about 5 times, I think, faster than those. They're practically impossible to stop. They're so fast, and there are thousands of nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles on this planet. So imagine what happens if one of them gets launched. Israel has them. The French gave them. As far as I know, it's the French who nuclear armed the Israelis. It's stupidity, the greatest stupidity that I've seen. The proliferation of this fucking bombs. I don't believe there is a God. We're on our own, and we should start acting like it. Because, There's no planet B. People say, what's the solution? The solution is stop fighting. Do not follow orders. When they tell you launch, don't launch. I refuse to follow orders. I refuse to fight. You're killing people, man. You're killing people you don't even know. For what? So that powerful people and corporations and governments can make more money? Is that it? You can't eat money. You can't bathe with it. You can't use it for, to stop bleeding. We need a complete paradigm shift in our species if we are to survive. If we don't stop and we refuse to follow those orders, you guys are in the military. All it takes is a few brave people and say, no, that's enough. Put you in jail. I'm on with it. Let's go. I'm going to shoot you. Shoot. Wait till somebody's going to shoot back at those motherfuckers. The call's coming from inside the house. The call is coming from inside the house.